This conference will now be recorded.
Okay, so first thing is authentications. So authentications means what? Authentications means how to log in Sonarqube. Simple. How to log in Sonarqube. This we have already seen. There's a one user ID and password is already there. So I mean, are we having any other different method to log in Sonarqube? Yes. So you can configure Sonarqube with LDAP also. Okay, so that is also there. Now the question is, okay, this is a built-in, which we have seen that this is built-in, but how can we configure the LDAP? And for that, we need to reference one file, which is a configuration file for for Sonarqube, and that file is, let me show you here. Uh, in this file, you have to configure, and that file is sonar.property file. This is the one. So if you in future, if you want to configure it, just go to this below sections, and here you have a lot of options which you can configure, but the one option which I want you to focus on is here. So now this is a SSO authentications, which is the third one. But if you go down, this is the LDAP configurations. Okay. So now if you have LDAP server in your organizations, you can enable this LDAP and this one and this one and this one and so on. So this is the option which you can enable, and these all are setting for the LDAP only till here. Understood?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, so here let me make apply, and probably this one is right one. Okay, so now this is the LDAP configurations. Now if you want to see that if you want to configure with SSO means single sign-on, then options up were there, where here this is the SSO single sign-on. You can enable it also, and by default is disabled. So I don't have LDAP and single sign-on, so but yeah, in future, just for information purpose, when you want to do that, you can do that. Now next thing is authorizations. Okay, authorizations. So authorization means what? Let's say you want to log in, then what you are allowed to do, that is a question. Right now the use account which I'm using is a super account. So let's say if you have logged in with a different user ID, and it can be this built-in, it can be LDAP, but what you're allowed to do. So first thing, let's create a user. So for that, go to the administrations, and here I'm creating a built-in user ID and password. So where to do that? So here you see security. Okay, so last day we discussed about the marketplace, and marketplace where you can install the plugins. So one plugin we installed it, but today we'll have to go to the security, which is users. So let's create a user. It's simple, nothing complicated. Analyzer. Okay, this is the user I'm creating, and analyzer at the rate of analyzer.com, analyzer 123. Now if you want to add SCM account means, any idea what is this?
No.
SCM means earlier we used to call it software configuration management account. Means you can add Git, and you can add Perforce, SVN, and something like that. Okay, so you can add a SVN account, SCM account if you have it. So let's say your account is Rajesh Kumar in. That's my GitHub ID, GitHub account. So you can add it like this and get going. This is not important though. You can see this name and password is important. Username is analyzer 123 created. So now we have created this account and then password. So you can using this also you can log in. So let me paste this user ID and password first. Here it is. Now you created a user here, but now let me show you the. Just I created a user, okay, and for this analyzer and password. So here you see that uh, you are not authorized to access this page, and they are suggesting with more privileges. So here I have not added any permission actually. So you can add a permission to the user level also, but this way you will spend lots of time. So rather than create a group, so right now if you see that there is one group which is two group uh, in fact three group, anyone, Sonar administrator, and Sonar users. Now here in an administrator there's one user, and in users you got a two users. How come you got the two users? So what has happened, whenever you add any users which is here, automatically that will be a part of the group called Sonar user. Why? Because this is the default group. Default group means any user you add, you will be a part of that. And this has not given too much of permission here. So if you see that any user created will automatically join this group, and here anyone also there's own group. Anybody authenticated or not who browses the application belong to this group. So this is something which you have. So can I create my own group? Now dev group, okay, and here this is for dev team created. Now this user, this group, I can delete and update whatever it is, and here I can add a members. So I have only one members which is analyzers. Done. So now I created a user here, I created a group here, and added a group, added a user into the group. Now the question is, how do we set the permissions? So for that you have to go to the permissions, which is global permissions, third options. So in the is here you can set the permission for a user also. Here you can set the permissions, or you can set the permission to the group. So if you set up a permission for the group, it will be easy for you to manage. Now what you want to see all the people from the group dev, quality gates, execute analysis, and project to be created, and quality profile also depends on what you want, which we have covered what is a quality gates last session, quality profile, and executions and creating a project. You give it admin option means administration, this one you are not giving it, and then done. So now can I go and check this? The username is analyzer and password is, and you see here, uh, let me check, because you should have the access, and okay, so in the permission template, I set the global permissions for this. Let me try one more time. Global permissions, but you should change the template also. So now this is governed through the template here and permission template. And in the permission template, there's only one template. You can create a template separate one also, but one template is sufficient. And here, go to the dev and here browse access. I just gave it, and analyzer. I'm just checking the browse access, and you got this. Some problem is there. Let me give more permissions. The browse access you need here, I mean, that's more than sufficient. And let me see the browser issues or something like that. No, I think it's a browser issues. Let me close this.
Does it require restart?
No, no required. There's no requirement for the restart. It just issues the browser, I guess. Login password. Yeah, it was a browser issues. Not sure why, but yeah, it will take it. So you can check this out. Unnecessarily, I given all this access, but yeah, this is how you can also troubleshoot sometime if it's not working. Okay, so this is the users group global permissions and permission templates. Permission template will be applied by default to this only one permission template which you have right now. You can create it, but template is uh, for the project. Okay, this template is for the project. So if you want to control the project level, then this is good for it. Okay, so now this is how you can set up authentications and authorizations. Any questions so far?
No.
Okay, so now what we will do, there's one more admin activities you have to do, and that is called database change. Database change means you have remember that by default it is serving H2 database. So can we check this here? So go to the administration, go to the system, and whatever the information you have configured, you will see here only. So here system, here when you say Docker no, that means this I'm not running with the Docker. So that's the reason it says Docker no. Go down here, database H2. This is something which you need to see. And right now, this is the default database what you have. Now the question is, how can I migrate it to different database? Okay, how can I do that? So there is a MS SQL, there is a Postgres, there is a Oracle. So which are the database support? So best way, look at this file only. Go up, and I have discussed first day only those supports, but the changes has to be done at here, database. Now here you can set the credentials, and this is the one which is a default database. So, and this is entry for our Oracle, little down Postgres, and after that here you have a MySQL. Now any database settings if you want to modify below, you can do that. right now not need required, but if you have some performance issues and all, this tuning you can do that if you are expert in database. So like that. So for time being, we need only the demo which I'm showing you is a Postgre. This is also open source database server, so which you can set it up. Now earlier the MySQL support was also there, but it has been deprecated from last I think 1 year, I guess more than that. In fact, 2 years I see MySQL support they have been deprecated. So what to do now in order to migrate to Postgre? So first have a let's say Postgre. By the way, this tutorial I might have written somewhere. So let me check this. Uh, so here's Sonarqube, and here if you see here how to migrate Sonarqube from H2 to Postgre. So this is something. So how do we get a server? So do you know Docker, right?
Yes, yes.
Yeah. So here using Docker, we are getting the Postgre server. That is a stuff. Now, how do we get it? So let me come out of this machine. Now let me see Docker is there or not. So Docker is not there. So I need to install Docker. So question is how can we install Docker? So for that, I need to Docker install. So for that here, this will help me. So the problem is okay, I'll just become a root and Rajesh 123. Okay, so I'm installing the Docker. There are multiple ways to install Docker. This is one of the way. Now this is taking time. Just give me few seconds. Let me pause the recording because I don't want this too much of delay in the recordings to be recorded.
This conference will now be recorded.
There is a handshake problem. Okay, so done. And finally, I'm going to run this command. This is for just installing Docker. I'm doing the same machine. Yes. And now this command. Enter. And finally, this command will install the Docker. Almost done. Okay, so I'm going to enable the Docker using this command for next time and start the Docker. That's all. Now after that, I'll come back to this here and this tutorial. And here you see I'm running the Postgres database. Okay, so this is a container. This is the image, name of the container. The port number would be 5432 and password would be my secret password. Are you comfortable with this command?
Yes.
Enter. It will take few seconds to download the image. Done. So now if you see that the container is running and good to go. Now in Postgres, we have a concept of schema. So one of the schema will be their public. You can create a more schema in and use it, but right now not interested to customize too much. But here username is Postgres, which is default for container. Password we set just now here, and the schema is public. Okay, so these are the three lines you have to modify in the what in the configuration file. So let me do that. So first what I'll do, first I'll stop the uh, Sonarqube others to avoid the health issues. So Sonar stop. Automatic migrations will happen from the H1 to Postgres, and that is inbuilt quality. So go to cd conf vi sonar scanner and Postgres password. Done. So this is the Sonar username and this is the password. Now I uncommented the line, please remember that. Now if you go to this Postgres line, here you have to modify carefully. Now the problem is I don't have a IP address of the container, so I will ask docker inspect container, which is here. IP address is this one, so I'll feed this and Sonarqube, and my schema is public. That is one. So public is a default schema. Whenever you start database, you get it. So I did as per this one only 5432, and okay, there's a port number also I have to specify. So here 5432, correct? So here I modify as per everything, Postgres current schema, public, Postgres and all. Yeah, done. So this is the three changes you have to do. And now if it is an old Sonarqube, have little patience, it will take some time in migration, but I have only one project, so it will not take much time. And so please remember that. Start. Now status and it's running. Can I go to Sonarqube server? Still yet to come. Just wait for a few seconds. Let me refresh. I'll just do one more status. And you see here, there's a problem here. Not running. So now we'll have to troubleshoot. And this you can say as a troubleshooting exercise. So now why is not running? So if you go to logs, you'll have answers for it. So let me check even I have no idea why this is failing. So failure, see here. C log means community edition log. They will also rotate the log, access log here. ES means Elasticsearch log, and this is Sonar log. So I have no idea where to start which file. So I'll just have a clear the log. That's the best strategy. And after that, I'll just start one more time. So I'll have a fresh log. You should take a backup, by the way, of the logs, not delete it. And go back here and cd logs. And now I have this many logs. Rotation is gone. Now I'll see that Sonarqube log, and here you see there's no error so far. And now there's a so info you can ignore it, and warning also you can ignore it for some time, but error is something is a problem. And when I see error, it says fail to check status. ES managed process. ES means Elasticsearch managed process. And here if I go detail, caused by null. So and so I'm not able to get too much of data, but if I see that here, this line is a problem. So the problem is this line. Problem is not Sonarqube. The problem is Elasticsearch. So Elasticsearch stopped. Because of Elasticsearch stopped, and now Sonarqube, see here, Elasticsearch client, and all. So Sonarqube also stopped, because if Elasticsearch will not work, Sonarqube will also not work. Are you understanding?
Yes.
So what to do? So I'll go for Elasticsearch ES log, and here if I see Elasticsearch, there are some errors which you can detect somewhere here. And if you little bit check this one, this is the known problem with Elasticsearch. So what was happening is earlier, uh, when we were running Elasticsearch, Sonarqube with the H2 database, the configurations change was not happened to the file. So at that time, Elasticsearch was comfortably enjoying the very lightweight setup. But the moment you change the database, then Elasticsearch required some sort of memory to be set up, and this you need to fix it. I have other solutions, but most important thing is you should know that how to troubleshoot. So log file You should check sonar log, ES log and all, and try to find out. Now the question is, how can we fix this? So just give me 2 seconds. First thing is a Sonarqube error, and you will also face these issues. So I'm going to document it. This is the one, and this is the PWD. This is the locations, and command is this one. Okay. Now second thing is more sonar log, and this is the thing, and this is there. Okay, so now this is there. Now how do we fix it? So error is really this one. So I'll go to my website and search for this, and you see here, this is something we are getting. Here also something like this. So let me see which has a solutions. So I have to go and do this, or just a second, let me read this error. 262144. So this is the one solutions, okay, and this is also one solutions. So whichever way you are, okay, limits dot, or whichever way you are setting up, it's okay. So what do we do? So let's go for this, and I have to do as a root user, okay, root, because, and add this line. This is for the system wide changes. This will change system wide, and save it and run it, and this is done. Okay, let me see, read one more time. So there's a two issues here, one of two, two of two. So this is a file descriptor issues, this is the one. So both you have to try. There are the two issues, so I have to try both. So here also you have to modify this file, don't do blindly, and it's a Linux command, you can check this later on also. And here you need to set this, but here username is the username. What is username for us? What is username? Any idea what is username? Hello?
Yes, I am with you.
Yeah, username is Rajesh. I'm logged in it. So this is a Rajesh, because I'm running the as a Rajesh, and you set this, okay, and done. If you want to understand no files here, so you can check this out, save it, and this is also done. And you have to start the new sessions altogether. So for this sessions, I'll just sacrifice it and open a new session. Rajesh 123, and done. So both the tricks I used it, and I'm hoping this time, let's see that. it should not be having problem. So status so far running. I'll just wait for a few seconds. I don't want to go to the logs right now. Wait until it's not running. And now seems to be running. Now this is the Elasticsearch problem, and go back to here and see. So overall, what we concluded, when you have issues with it, this is how you can troubleshoot. Now see, there's not running again, there's a problem. So now let's see what is the problem here. cd logs, more sonar log, and I'll go a little bit down, and here I see again it's a problem with Elasticsearch, because you see that here stopped and Sonarqube also stopped. So what is the problem? So the problem of Elasticsearch is, let me check, and here the problem is I'm not expecting any such. So there's no error, but it's stopping it. Let me do the fresh log. Maybe some error is somewhere else, maybe, but start tail -f is waiting for Elasticsearch. And here this is info, and here if you see that Elasticsearch exited and process got stopped. So let me see now Elasticsearch, and seems to be okay so far. Info, and here it says started, and this is also okay, but why stopping? Let me pause this recording.
This conference will now be recorded.
If I see web.yaml, there's some problem. It says cannot create Sonarqube database, which is something. So let me check the configuration file one more time. So that was a Elasticsearch issue, but right now I don't have issues with Elasticsearch because there's no error is coming and simply stopping. When I check the web.yaml, it has some database related issues. So here what I'm going to do, I'm going to check this one little more carefully. And I will just compare also with my notes. And here so did you see that mistake? So my mistake was, this is the Postgres database, but here I was using Sonarqube. That was a mistake actually. So that was the reason it was showing that error, and that error was, so let me change this. So this is the different error. So I'll change the IP address, and this is the, so you should check the web.yaml also. for fixing that issues. And go ahead this one and PostgreSQL. I'll just comment this out and add new line, save it, and bin Linux Sonarqube start. So Elasticsearch issue is known, but this is because of some typo at configuration. So you have to be a little careful. I'll share that URL with you also. So far so good. Let me see the website. Just wait till so far is called running. So migration takes some time, depends on your database size. And here it is. So now what I did is I migrated. It was very small database, but in real it will take some time. So you have to keep checking the logs and status, and that's the only way to get it. Are you understanding this?
Yes.
So let's confirm whether this migration has happened or not. So just wait for a few seconds more. Okay, so let's go for Sonarqube now. And username is admin, password admin123. Think wrong password. And here, okay. And one more thing, I just recall this thing. Remember that whenever you change the password, the Sonarqube old password will not work. So admin and try admin only. Remember, because database table you lost it. So remember that behavior. So admin123 admin. So root password, and then you have to integrate with whatever it's. So here is Sage, some of the risk, and it's okay. Understand the risk and done. Now, can I validate that option? So go to the administration, go to the system, and go to the system here, and go to the database, and here you should see all the database. So this is the way. If you have started demo H2 and all, you can migrate it. But yeah, in real time you'll not do that in the production. Typically you'll start with some production database or something. Are you understanding?
Yes.
Okay, so this is something which we have some troubleshooting, and plus this one. Okay, so now this is something which we have. Now we'll go for next demo, which is here only, here, this one, Maven and Gradle. That means how to use Sonarqube with Maven and how to use Gradle. Okay, so can we have 10 minutes of break before that, Maven and Gradle?
Yes, no worries.
Yeah, let's connect in 10 minutes and then we'll complete these two topics also. Okay.